We started the study in 2002 to better understand the ecology, behavior, and conservation needs of lions in such an urban, fragmented landscape. And to date, we have data on 65 individual lions. We're capturing these animals, placing these GPS radio collars on them. And with these GPS radio collars, we can learn a whole bunch about what they're doing. So we're really interested in mortality sources. What are these cats dying from? And we know from roadkill, rat poison occasionally, and intraspecific conflict, lions killing other lions. We're also interested in their diet. What are they eating? Are they successfully reproducing and raising young? What's the landscape use? Are they in urban areas? Are they in more natural areas? And also freeway movements, and especially across secondary roads as well. So we are currently, I'm sorry, I can't really see the screen here. We're currently following 15 mountain lions with GPS radio collars now. Not only in the Santa Monica Mountains, but also the surrounding region, the Simi Hills, the Santa Susana Mountains. So it's a real exciting time for us to follow so many cats at the same time on the landscape. I'm going to give you a couple of quick updates. I'm going to start with the sad news. P23 was an animal we followed for 5.5 years, one of my favorite cats. Marked her at the den as a 3-week-old kitten, followed her whole life. And unfortunately, she got hit on the roadway on Malibu Canyon Road this past January. There's a photo of her I took right when she dispersed from mom at a young age. She was a very independent teenager at 12 months. So she was used to crossing all these secondary roads, and it's really a roll of the dice with these cats. They can do it numerous times, but it just takes that once. And so roadkill is nothing new either. We've identified 18 roadkill mortalities in our mountains, pretty much every major secondary road, and of course every freeway we've seen roadkill. On some good news, we have recently captured a few new animals in our area, and one of these is P64, who we are calling the Liberty Lion even before we caught him, because we were getting photos of him right at Liberty Canyon. So the photos on the top, we've been monitoring Liberty Canyon now for 3 years with remote cameras on both sides of the freeway and also the existing undercrossing there, seeing what animals could potentially use the area and make a crossing. And so we're identifying this uncollared male going underneath the right-of-way fence right up to the freeway, and then we were picking him up on our cameras on the opposite side. And we were thinking, how the heck is this cat getting across? He wasn't using the underpass, so I thought, yeah, he must be using the road. We finally got some more cameras and started monitoring a long, dark tunnel right under the freeway, and we quickly saw, and I lost a bet to a colleague, that he was using this tunnel multiple times too. And since then, we radio collared him, captured him in the Simi Hills in late February, and he's had those are hard to see. So yeah, he's had 7 freeway crossings now in less than a month, crossing the 101 and also the 118 in the area of the Corriganville Tunnel there. So we think he's just, I mean, it's early, it's only a month of data. He's currently up in the Santa Susana Mountains, north of those points. One of my interns is right now tracking him. So he's just using the Simi Hills, southern Santa Susanas, and the northern Santa Monicas as part of his home range, which is really interesting. He found a safe way to navigate these major freeways. I can't give a talk with Beth in the room without mentioning P22, so an update on P22. We continue to follow him with the working GPS radio collar. Some recent analysis we did last year, we had 5 years of GPS points, thousands of points, and we were really interested, where are these points on the landscape? So is he preferring natural areas? Is he in your backyard, which would be an urban area? Or is he in altered lands, like a golf course, forest lawn cemetery, a landscaped park? And the take-home point here is 90% of all of his points in such an urban area is in natural habitat. And that's what we're finding with all of our cats we have studied. When you include over 50 cats during the course of this study and hundreds of thousands of GPS points, here in the Santa Monicas where we have millions of visitors, a lot of urban development, by far they're preferring these natural areas away from us. They're doing their best to avoid us. And so what is P22 eating? We continue to hiking on his kill sites, and he's finding deer, plenty of deer there. 85%, 84% of his diet is roughly deer, followed by coyotes and raccoon. Being an opportunistic hunter, as all lions are, I'm sure a rabbit jumps in front of them. They might take that occasionally. It's also an exciting time for us too, because in a couple weeks now, we will be releasing a report that prepared by Seth Riley, the PI of all of our wildlife studies at the park, and also folks from the Nature Conservancy and UC Davis Wildlife Health Center. It's a report that we did on the assessment of wildlife crossings along two freeways, the I-15 and the 101. Along 15 there's also a long-term mountain lion study that's been going on in Orange County. And this was really interesting because we had an independent panel of 7 experts on connectivity. We flew in from across the country to evaluate potential crossing locations along these two major roadways. So along the 101 here, we looked at a 6-mile stretch, and it was a 3-day workshop where we brought these experts, and these are people who do this for a living, road ecology. They build these bridges and tunnels. They know what they're talking about. So we showed them 7 sites for a potential wildlife crossing, where they evaluated these, also looking at the landscape on both sides, and they graded each of these sites. And the take-home point was, by far, 7 to 7 experts said that the location of any wildlife crossing, the first priority should be West Liberty Canyon, which we'll be going to later today. And they also evaluated what type of structure. They looked at 2 different tunnel options, the existing underpass there, and they all agreed also that the best thing for all wildlife would be a vegetated overpass over the 101 freeway, and also, very critical, over Agoura Road as well. That would benefit the most species to get them across safely. We continue to monitor the Liberty Canyon area with these remote cameras. It's also it's an exciting time because of the revegetation work that has happened there. Paul and Clark will be talking to you later about it, and also Mark. So we're really interested to find out what animals might use that underpass now. And just to end here, we know there's many good things happening in our mountains for lions, but they are also in trouble. Our mountain lions here in the Santa Monica, south of the 101, have some of the lowest genetic diversity ever recorded on the West Coast. Similar to that in Orange County, where there's another isolated population. So mountain lion survival in our mountains really depends on this regional connectivity and their ability to safely cross the 101 freeway. And so it's critical we get something built here across the 101, not only for mountain lions, but for all species in the area. And that's pretty much all I have. Thank you, and I'll be around to take any questions later.